Hello, Sonor family. Jules here, and Friday morning. What a week it's been! It's been a good week. A guy came up to me the other day, said, "Jules, we you spend a lot of time selling off your gear and doing these interviews and all this Sonor content. You ain't got no job, do you?" Well, kind of the story of my recent life here, but I got you know what? I think some things are coming together. Been kind of biding my time, but I really get a sense that that personally, I'm going to have some things come around that are great. As far as this channel goes, and all the drum and stage stuff, the forum and all that, and the reverb, really feel like some good times are coming. As far as the sonar thing goes, again, I really feel like good things are coming. I know that in regards to the 150th anniversary, the first part of the year, unless you were sitting on a wad of money and were able to buy the snare drum or one of the shell sets, it's kind of run flat for the rest of us, and I realize that, and I think that good things are coming. I'm personally excited to see what happens with the AQ2s. For all the things we can fuss about with those, I really feel like the people that get those are going to love them. And as I've said before, I've already got a drum set. That's all I need is one. I'm not a collector, so there's no pragmatic, practical, whatever the proper term is. I'll Google it later and feel like a fool. But there's just no sense in me buying one. I don't keep gear. I've still got this artist bronze snare drum that's still sitting in the box. And part of the reason it is still sitting in the box is because I know how I am. And once I take that thing out and play on it a while, change some heads and do some different things and probably do a product review with some different hoops and all that, something else will come out that I've got to have. And the funny thing is, it might be a $5,000 snare drum I have to have next, and it might be a $500 snare drum I have to have next. Uh, there's Sonor's got it going on. I mean, they got great snare drums in the upper twos, lower 300 range, all the way up, and so that's one thing that's a lot different now than was a long time ago. But so we'll just have to see how all that shakes out. But you know what? Interview wise, in the morning, you're going to get to see an interview with Yost Nickel, and what a fun interview that was. And he's going to shed some light on some things that we asked him what led him to develop his own snare drum. And you might be really surprised if you haven't heard the story already. You're probably going to be a little jarred, not jarred, probably going to be a little shocked by what events led up to that. It was something I knew nothing about. And I don't know if it's common knowledge. Maybe somehow I just was sick for a while and didn't pay attention. I just don't know. But anyway, I think a lot of people are going to want to watch that. And I keep saying this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. But you really should watch all these interviews, even if it's with guys that you don't even know who they are, or maybe but that's just not your thing. These are all interesting guys, and they've all got good stories. We've all got different reasons why we got drawn to the Sonor brand. We've all got different experiences as a Sonor owner. I hate saying that, but anyway, as a Sonar owner, so you ought to be watching these interviews, and something I want you to know. I have the option with the having over 1,000 subscribers. I have the option of doing a monetary thing where I can let people inject advertisements into these interviews. I don't do that. Um, all of my stuff right now is all unmonetized. So the forum's never going to be monetized. The obviously the reverb, I do buy and sell on there, so that does generate money. Here lately, not a whole lot, but the YouTube channel, I'm still working towards that first penny. I thought that once I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, I was home free. I was going to be raking in, $8 or $10 a month or something, and I haven't seen the first cent yet. So just know that I have deliberately passed up opportunities to let people put ads in my interviews. Now, I'm not referring to selling sponsorships. So that little 10-second blip you've seen from Atlanta Drum Shop and eventually some other companies hopefully will sponsor. Those are paid ads, but they're not like interrupting the flow of the content. So just keep in mind that as much as I really need monetization on this YouTube channel, first of all, to help sustain some things I've got going on and want to do, but secondly, to help generate some funds for buying products to do reviews on and that sort of thing. So, as much as I could use those funds, I am not allowing those ads in the content. So, please keep that in mind and let that be, if there's no other reason to watch all these interviews, let that be a reason to go watch them. Just know that I passed up an opportunity to make money so that when you sit there and watch that interview, it's uninterrupted. You're not going to sit there and watch an ad for, Dawn dish detergent or, Depends or something. So at any rate, moving right along, y'all, I've got several interviews going on. I'm actually about, as I record this, about 90 minutes out from another interview. I had a two-part interview that occurred yesterday and today. It's all going to be one interview, but we had to go back and do a tag because there was some things that got missed the first time around. And this is going to be a very interesting interview as well. Plus, I've got Lamar Carter sitting in the wings. I've got the interview uploaded, waiting on approval from him. Last I knew, he was in Europe and uh, maybe things weren't rolling as smoothly. I don't even know what he's got going on, but I just know that it's been, um, been some reason or another. He just hasn't had a chance to watch the video and give me his thumbs up. And in this case, I'm not gonna. We had a 2.5 hour interview, and I wasn't able to draw 30 minutes out of that. You know what? Uh, when I was doing the question and answer interviews, it was keeping everything on a strict, on track and all this stuff and very rigid format. Now I get off the phone with these guys and we kind of feel like old friends, I would say. We actually have a lot of good contact back and forth. I edit out so much stuff. Sometimes we go down rabbit holes that just aren't appropriate for the interview, for whatever reason. And when I'm talking and they haven't, they're not that familiar with me, so sometimes they are interested in some of my stories. And if I left all of those in the interviews, you'd hear the same thing from me every time I open my mouth, and then you certainly wouldn't watch them. So I make sure to cut out anything that may be monotonous or not interesting to you. So watch the interviews. I wish you'd watch all the content. And if you have suggestions, I'm always open for suggestions. And I think the go jump off a bridge suggestion has been kind of done to death. So I don't bother with that one anymore. But if you have ideas for content, I certainly would love to hear it. Need to get back to the idea of doing the kit of the week. Somebody suggested that. I jumped on board. Somebody said they were going to send some pictures and a write up, and I never got it, and I've let it fall to the wayside. I'm not blaming them. This is on me for not following up. So just know if you're watching this and you would like to do a kid of the week, by all means, we can do that. If you'd like to do an interview, I don't care if nobody knows who you are. If you've got a Sonor story, let's have it. Let's have it. So, ironically, um, for whatever reason, sometimes when I interview somebody that nobody's ever heard of, those interviews do better than somebody with nominal not nominal, what's the word I'm looking for? Come on here. Exposure. There we go. Nominal exposure in the sonar world. Y'all, I'm trying to do these organically. I'm trying to run them front to back, no cuts and all that stuff. So just bear with me. Just pretend like it's 4 o'clock in the morning for me as I'm doing this, and I'm drinking what's actually an empty cup of coffee here. Um, but anyway, getting back on track. Hey guys, it's Friday. It's going to be a great weekend. Let me know what you've got going on. If you've got a great gig coming up, let me know about it. Take pictures, send me some video. I'll post it. I'll sure post it. And, maybe some folks will see it and they'll get a kick out of it and comment and like it and all that. I've got no limitations what I'm willing to do in a respectful manner. So if you've got something you want out there, if you think my channel is a good vehicle for doing that, let's do it. Other than that, hope you have a great weekend. There is content tomorrow. Maybe some other stuff. I've got something in my head I've got to work on. Don't know when I'll do that and have it out. It might have already come out by the time you see this. Who knows? But anyway, we will talk to you soon. Thank you.